Joining us now is Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold. Secretary Griswold, thanks for being with us. This was a sweeping indictment spanning several states. Why not Colorado? Why weren't you targeted? And I guess the question is, what did you do to protect your state's systems that other states didn't?
Well, thanks for having me on, Dell. And that is a good question for prosecutors, not necessarily me as Secretary of State. Colorado had an issue very similar to the election breach in Coffee County. In 2021, we discovered that Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters, working with many of the Trump sympathizers and supporters, some of whom have been named in a lot of the national conspiracy, worked to compromise our voting equipments to try to prove the big lie. I caught it right away. We decertified the voting equipment, and then I ran the nation's first ever law on insider threats. But I think your question is a really good one. The indictment focuses on a certain period of time, and we are not aware of all the co-conspirators yet. So more information is going to break, but you're actually really onto something, and that is the ongoing coup has not stopped. It continued past January 6th, and we're still living it every single day in the election world.
You used the word coup, short for coup d'etat. Is that what you believe actually happened on January 6th?
Absolutely. The former president had a multifaceted plan to try to regain and retain power, even though he had lost. It included the fake elector plan. It included a multi-state plan to breach election systems, litigation, but also inciting a violent mob, some who chanted that they were going to hang the vice president of the United States. Absolutely. This is about Trump's attempt to steal the election from the American people. I think a small step of justice has been served with the indictment, but we have to continue to see these lawsuits play out. No person is above the law, including a former president.
Secretary Griswold, one of your fellow secretaries of state in Georgia, there was that pressure campaign, Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, to change the election results. Find me those 11,780 votes. As a secretary yourself in Colorado, what would have happened had that phone call come to you?
Maybe a little stronger of words than Secretary Raffensperger used, but a very similar action. No Secretary of State should be putting their finger on elections, period. And Secretaries of State do not count the ballots. We are basically the referee for the elections. I think Brad, the Secretary of State in Georgia, had the great foresight to record that call because what Donald Trump did is highly illegal and an assault on American democracy and the people's right to vote.
Do you believe that the American public understands what it is that government officials do? And I'll couch it this way. I remember the night of January 6th, a young man, his face was painted, red, white, and blue, came up to me and said, "We're taking over the government." And he was yelling and he was screaming, and I said, "Good, which department are you going to run?" Do you think the American public understands the basic functions of government, and are we failing in teaching them exactly what it is that you do?
I think the American people clearly understand how democracy works, that they get to choose their elected officials. And that is so fundamental for our nation. And we've seen it as a driving force. Of course, in the 2020 and 21 elections and the aftermath, but also in 2022 in the midterms. It was a huge motivator for the American public.